But one of the things that I have always done in approaching this job, even in my third year as your district membership chair, is I always have to give everybody sort of two warnings before we get started. And warning number one is resisting change is like holding your breath. Even if you're successful, it doesn't end well. So being resistant to change never works. Secondly, George Stewart and I right now, or over the next few minutes, are going to share with you things that other clubs are doing, things that are working, resources that you have no idea exist, which we're going to educate you to now of how to find those things and how to help you with your clubs. But like anything else, my second warning to you is the batteries are not included. Everything we do is going to be stuff, and you and your Rotary clubs are going to have to apply the energy to make these things work. But we're going to share with you the things that do. Today, we are very symbolic of what we're doing with the pandemic, but at the same time, some clubs are recognizing the advantages that there are with this particular pandemic situation. Number one is you don't have to travel to meetings anymore. Secondly, a lot of your members travel, and now it's even easier for them to attend even when they're on the road. And in addition to that, some of your members will need to be trained on how to use Zoom. So you'll have to do that. But your guest speakers now, you can get guest speakers for your club from anywhere in the world. And if you record your meeting like we do at the Rotary Club of Orlando, you can post those recordings so that your members that weren't able to attend can do. Earlier, we were talking about the goal of what we were trying to do. I want to give you some information on our district. Our district we are 31% women and 69% men. The worldwide average is 77 and 24. Our new member retention for our district is at 90%. Those are for people that came in after 2017. We're well above the worldwide average. Members under 40, though, we are 8%. And here's where we set the world on fire. Members over 40 years old, we are 72% in our district versus a worldwide average of 46. So we've got lots of things to do. By the way, in Rotary, the retention is done in a three-year cycle. So it's calculated over the last 3 years. Here's a little bit deeper look into our district. This slide shows why retention is critical when you're trying to grow your membership, because over the last 4 of the last 5 years, we have actually had a decline in membership in our district. And over that 5-year period, we've actually lost 172 members. We were at 1891. It looks like we finished this last year at 1719. So we lost 172 members over the last 5 years. So we really must do a better job in retention. And I tell everybody, if you're going to work on membership, you've got to put equal effort into retention, because our problem, as you're about to see, isn't that we couldn't find them. Our problem is we couldn't keep them. And so if I give you a little bit more specifics into it, here's a little deeper dive. In 2020, we had, it looks like we ended up the year at 1719. Since 2016, over the last 5 years, we added 1,556 Rotarians to our district. However, we lost 1,728 in the same period of time. And here's the significant number. 81% of that 1,728 people that we lost, 81% of them we lost in the first 2 years. So we clearly have an issue of not delivering the value or the expectation of what our members were looking for when they join. And there's a lot of other things that go into that. The Rotary survey that was recently taken, Rotary said, here are the top 3 reasons why people join Rotary. They're not the total, but here's the top 3. Community service was 18%. Personal growth was 11%. And connecting with others in the community was 10%. 90% of the people that joined were inspired by our history and our mission. And 44% of the people that joined anticipated to be a lifelong member of Rotary. So that's why they joined. Those are the top 3 reasons why they joined. Here's why they left. 40% left because of cost or time. 29% left because of club environment. Club environment included cliques and personality issues, low morale among the members, or they didn't feel included. They didn't feel engaged in the club environment. And then 16% just said it just didn't meet my expectations. The more disappointing part of this was 34% of the people that left said that they would not recommend Rotary. So there's a lot of information we've got to do to try to get not only those people back, but the influence those people have had over other people. Simply stated, we really must provide value to all of our club members, and we can use technology to be able to do that. We're going to walk you through real briefly now the 5 different stages of membership life cycle. We're going to start with acquisition, and for that, I'm going to turn it over to George.
You're going to hear a lot about, and you already heard some from George. Are we ready for new members? One way to get ready is to actually poll your own club. This is a member satisfaction survey that's available at RI or Rotary.org. Many clubs have used it. If you have not used it this year or have not used it in the last few years, it's a good opportunity for you to learn about what your own club members are thinking about their satisfaction. You heard that a number of people leave Rotary because they're not satisfied. If we could pick that up earlier with members, obviously could be helpful. Now, we've talked a little bit about tools, and we're going to talk about some new ideas. Here's a tool that's been around. Some clubs are using this now. Some situations make more sense as a corporate membership. You'll have a bank manager who will be transferred. The new bank manager needs to be in your club. A corporate membership allows that type of thing. Here's more information, again, at Rotary.org about corporate memberships. The next item, and you've heard this even mentioned today by Governor Mike, are satellite clubs. Many of us have a meeting. Ours is at breakfast on a Thursday. There are people in my area, in nearby areas, that just doesn't work. And maybe I should be thinking about another meeting time or nighttime or another day. And that may be more appropriate as a satellite club. In other words, a satellite club is members of my club meeting at a different time or location. All members of my club can go to the satellite club. The satellite club can come to my club. So it's not a separate club, it's a part of your own club.
The next aspect of it is the LEAD program. I refer to this as a gift from Rotary International. These are people that basically went on Rotary.org and they said that they were interested in learning more about Rotary. And so those people then are assigned to our district. And as your district membership chair, I receive those. And when I receive those, I call that person on the phone within the first 24 hours. I talk to them, try to find out now, and now we have a group that we're trying to do this with. And then once we find out what club works best for them, then we assign those people, those leads, we assign them to a particular club. The advantage is when a lead comes to us, Rotary International already gives them an RI number. So when they are given and assigned to your club, then you can simply use that Rotary number when you induct them into your club, if you do induct them into your club. I want to just tell you though, right now, today, as of this morning, in our district, we have had 77 leads who have been assigned to one of your 48 clubs. 77 leads are currently resting on the lead database in your club, waiting for a disposition. 77 is a huge, huge number. The second thing we want, a second phase of this is getting people onboarded. This is the most critical part of what you do with a new member, is to get them actively involved in what you're doing. Getting the new member orientation. We have a fireside chat before they become inducted, but we try to put the onus on the sponsor to help keep them oriented and get them engaged, introducing them to other people in the club, getting them to feel welcome and getting them to feel like they're part of the club. The My Rotary is a great thing, again, to get them interested in when they're brand new. We try to get them engaged. We try to get them involved. So here's the example up at the top of this slide where you can find this resource called shop.rotary.org, where you can find the Rotary basics that are in there. The second thing we use in the Rotary Club of Orlando, we have a red badge program, and it's self-paced. It is led by the sponsor and the candidate themselves. It creates a little structure to what they're supposed to do. These three things are required, and show you how complicated they are. You got to go online and adjust your profile. You got to make a classification talk in front of the club to let us know who you are. And you got to have at least 4 months as a red badge. Those are the required things that you have to do. And then if you go to the optional things, here you got to do 3 of these 5 things to be able to qualify to get your blue badge. You got to serve as a greeter when we're physically meeting. That's easy to do. You can serve on a club committee. You can sponsor a new member. What a great idea for a new person to bring in another new member. Participate in a club service project, or you can attend a board meeting. Any of those things, when your date is completed on that, now you have everything. And then we have this big, incredible ceremony in our club meetings where we give you a blue badge certification, where you are now a blue badge. And that is largely self-paced. And we have some guys that go slow. We have some people that have breezed right through this. But the red badge program is a program that is terrific for onboarding your new people and getting them really focused on what your club has to offer. Engagement, I can tell you, it is the quality of your meeting that makes the difference. Whether you're meeting virtually or whether you're meeting physically, it is that celebratory, upbeat meeting. As I tell some of you when I've presented at your clubs, if you're a small club, there's things you can do for your members to bring guests to the meeting. A lot of reasons why members don't want to bring a guest is because they're afraid the members won't like them, or they're afraid that the guests will not have a good time, one way or the other. So what you have to do as a club, you got to help your members get self-confidence. And the way you can do that is when they bring a guest, is you can recognize those guests during your meeting. You can thank them for coming. And so that the member will feel proud enough and confident enough next time to bring in more guests. In our club, when we meet physically, we bring all of our club members and we ask them to bring the Rotarian magazine. And so we have that at the registration desk. So when they register, we also give them a copy of the Rotarian magazine. We recognize that our meetings are volunteers. If you're a small club, this is a terrific idea. Use the district newsletter. Or if you're in an area like in Kissimmee, there's lots of clubs in Kissimmee, and same in the villages. Get all together and start talking about what the other clubs are doing too. It makes you bigger than you really are to those guests that are coming of what's going on. Rotary means business, we've already talked about, and we can help you with that as well. But in addition to that, there's lots of different membership types. But you got to play the long game when it comes to engagement. So the next focus now is going to be retention. Back to you, George.
You saw the why people left. Part of the largest reason they said was cost and time. We must build value, no matter what our club dues are, whether we have a meal or not have a meal. If we're not offering value, people will leave us because they'll say it's time and cost. Building value makes their time worthwhile and makes the cost, whatever it happens to be, worthwhile. Again, there's a great deal of resources for these. These are all tools that are at Rotary.org. You can download them or look at them in a PDF form. You could ask your committee chairs, your members can have access to these tools. So again, probably one message here is to look for tools at Rotary.org. This is a new idea for some of us. That is, if our members left us, for example, because of cost and time, and we've changed our cost because we're not charging for meals, or we've changed our time because 7:30 in the morning is too early, we've changed to 8:15, we should be reaching out to those former Rotarians. Many of those names are right in the database at DACDB. You may have other areas as well. We've been working for several years trying to reach out to young people through Rotaractors. Alumni here means if they've been in a program that is related or paid for or a part of Rotary. The next few minutes, we're going to talk about some new tools that are available for your use and in clubs by club presidents, club president-elects, membership chairs. So now let's talk about a new community that's just been put on the horizon, Anytown, USA.
As Rotary, we often ask ourselves, how do we grow, personally, professionally, and organizationally? The answer is simple. To grow Rotary, we need more Rotary clubs. Let's use Anytown as an example. Anytown is a city of 100,000 people and home to one proud Rotary club. But there are hundreds of other people of action, just like us, who are uniquely qualified to become Rotary members. They share the same drive and represent the values and fundamentals of a Rotary member. So why aren't they members? Well, the current club meets on Monday. There are leaders in Anytown who can't meet on a Monday. By excluding this segment, the potential members in Anytown has shrunk. Now consider, what if the meeting is at noon on Monday? There are people who can meet on Monday, but can't meet at noon. So now we have a smaller audience for Rotary in Anytown. Of the remaining group, some aren't interested in a club with a sit-down lunch and speakers. They are passionate about service, but aren't interested in a traditional club experience. And that is okay. The Rotary Club of Anytown isn't doing anything wrong. It just doesn't appeal to particular segments of the community. And if we're going to thrive for years to come, we must adapt and embrace change. In Anytown, we have an opportunity to expand because potential members are everywhere. More than half of the eligible people are prospective Rotary members, waiting to make a bigger impact in their community. But what Rotary Club exists for them? If Anytown creates new clubs at new times and new places, the hidden potential for Rotary will be revealed. As people of action, we must broaden our reach and provide opportunities to all leaders in the community. Together, all of us can grow Rotary.
We are used to kind of the traditional model, meeting at a meal, emphasizing the community, emphasizing service, and frankly, emphasizing attendance for many, many years. We also have a familiarity, I think, with e-clubs. Some of us have been to e-clubs to do makeups. We have an e-club focused here in Central Florida and e-clubs now around the world. You've heard, obviously, about Rotaract. Rotaract has been originally kind of a college-based deal, and now there's an effort to make it a community partner, full partner, really, with the Rotary Club. These other words you'll hear some more of today, and you've already heard some. One is cause-based. We have clubs now being formed for most of one cause. There's a Rotary Club stretching across multiple districts and multiple countries focused on water. There'll be other clubs focused on environment. We have focus clubs already being formed in parts of the United States focusing on veterans. So that will be an idea and a concept will be going forward. Going down to the alumni based, we just talked about that. You've heard about satellite clubs. Satellite clubs are parts of a traditional club or parts of some other kind of club. They're not independent as a club yet. They're kind of a satellite of the club. Corporate clubs tend to be on the same campus or in the same company. ideas here in Central Florida would be at the campus of a hospital, at the campus of a university, or at the campus of a major employer. Two new ones that just want to mention briefly before we get into the next part is passport clubs. These are clubs that don't have their own meeting on a regular basis, and if it is regular, it's not very often. Those clubs then, those passport clubs, encourage their members to use their club membership to go to other clubs and enjoy the fellowship and the programs and the service projects of other clubs, kind of stamping your passport. Maybe the most important word here, I don't think we've heard it yet, is hybrid. Now that we've been through this period of meeting online, I think many clubs are thinking in the future about the online versus in person. And we will see, and I think we're already seeing clubs as they go back to meeting are now thinking that why not have an online presence while I'm having a regular meeting? Why not have it so that somebody vacationing can come into my meeting by using these technology tools? So I think you'll see hybrid clubs work traditional. You'll see hybrid clubs Rotaract. You'll see hybrid clubs cause-based. Cause-based clubs may well stretch across a country or stretch across the world. And they would have to be hybrid. In other words, they would have to have much of their program online because of the nature of them. The other tools now we're going to talk about are tools available right now for each club to be familiar with. Rich is going to go over some of these tools with the idea that we're prepared to meet individually and with groups of clubs to get more in detail. But let me turn it over to Rich to show you about some very powerful tools to use in building your club's membership.
We're doing this because we want you to be aware of this new technology. The new software is found on this website. It's called www.growrotary.org. And we're going to show you this, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you briefly. But I want you, as the president and the club secretary and your membership chair, I want you to have a few weeks to play with this software. We're going to show you how to do that in a second. But the purpose of showing this to you is because this is an introduction for you to learn how to use this tool as it relates to helping you build membership in your existing clubs. So it's called www.growrotary.org. When you log on, your logon will be exactly the same as your current logon is to Rotary.org, even though this is a different website. So your logon credentials are the same with Rotary.org as it is for GrowRotary.org. Enter in your ID, enter in your existing password. If you don't know that information, then I would suggest that you get your club secretary to show you how to get access to this. So you get on this website, you log on, and then you pull up the zone 34 and then district 6980. And that's where you will see this information here. This is our district. Those are our 48 clubs. Each of those clubs, you can see there's natural voids in our market, but at the same time, that's where all the clubs are right now. We're going to pull this club up, and this is George's Club in College Park. Now, the one thing I want you to be able to see, this is a census tract. And right there is where George's Club meets when they meet in person. This census tract north of his club, there it is. There are only 2 of his members that live there in that census tract. But there are 1,170 people living in that census tract. And their median income is $67,875. So that's what is in that census tract. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the criteria, and I'm going to say, show me the people that are 30 to 39. Same census tract, but now this box changed. It still shows me there's 2 members living there. It still shows me the population of 1170, and it still shows me the income like the last one did. But now it just added demographics by age, because that's what I put in here was by age. So it tells me that 30 to 39, there are 17% of the people that live in that census tract are 30 to 39. And if you can't read it, the 40 to 49 is 13.5%. So that tells me then how to go at that census tract and say, I have 2 members that live there, and look at 17% of the people that live in that census tract are 30 to 39 years old. Now, we'll go to a census tract south of his club. Again, that's where he meets. This is a different census tract, and this shows that he has 4 members living in that census tract. There's the population, it's even higher. It's 1,710. And the income is even higher. It's 73,000 is the median income. Again, we'll change to the demographics of 30 to 39 as I'm doing for this example. And it shows that 25% of the people that live in that census tract are 30 to 39. And he only has 4 existing members who live in that census tract. Then we're going to go to another census tract. This is directly south of his club. Again, I'm looking at only 4 of his members live in that census tract. And there are 1,749 people living in that census tract, and the income is 78,000 is the median income. So it really shows you the potential here's 3 census tracts we've looked at around his club. Now let's look at the age group. The age group, again, 30 to 39 is what I picked. So 24% of the people that live in that census tract are 30 to 39 years old. And look, it still shows you there's only 4 members that live in that census tract. Now, here's the reason why we showed you that. Because we want you as the leaders, we want you to play with this. We want you to play with this with your club. Go into the census tracts around your club. Identify how many members live in those census tracts and what the potential is for you to identify new people. Because in a couple of weeks, George Stewart and I are going to have a meeting with your AGs and you. So we're going to do it by area. So we're going to meet with the AGs and the representatives of their area. The club president, hopefully all of you that are club presidents within your area with your AG, you will be at this workshop. We're doing this just by area. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through and do a deeper dive of just yours, but we will have had a couple of weeks to play with this software in your club, so you'll have enough information to be able to ask questions, to be able to tell us what you've learned, and then we can go in and do a deeper dive with you and find those voids in your market, but try to find areas and plans for how you can grow your membership. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through real briefly an existing software, which is called DAC. DACDB is what we use in our district. So what we're going to do in DAC is I'm going to show you how DAC can identify for you where your members live, or in other words, what the footprint is of your membership for each of your clubs. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to go to DAC and you're going to log on, and it says DAC login, and you're going to log in there. And when you log in there, it's going to ask you for your username and your password, and then you're going to log in. If you don't know this information in DAC, and if you're a club president or if you're in leadership and you don't know, you need to ask your club secretary to get you the credentials so you can get onto DAC. So you enter the information and then you log in. Once you log in, you will see this. Here's the clubs. So we're going to click on clubs, and here is all of the clubs, and we're going to use George's Club of College Park. We're going to click on that, and then you'll see the leadership and the officers, and you'll see all your members. Here is what I want you to focus on. This is called Club Member Map. When you click on that, it's going to show you where all of your members, here's all your members, and here's where they live. Here's where your club meets, and you can look now. So let's say, for example, you want to go down to this census tract that I showed you. Here are all of the members. Number 19 is identified there, number 8, and so on. You now have people in your club that you can go to to say we want to grow members in the area where you live. And we need you to become the champions to help our membership committee or to help our club try to identify where we can grow our clubs. Now, this is a smaller club, so that's one, but I want to show you, this is my club. We have 127 members in our club. This is the downtown club, the Rotary Club of Orlando. And you can see, here's where we meet when we meet in person. But here's what I want to show you. We have no clubs down in this area south of downtown. We have no clubs out here by the executive airport. But now I have people that live out here. So if I want to be able to focus on bringing in members from that area, or maybe I want to even start a satellite club, a different day part from my club. So we meet every Thursday at lunch. I could do a satellite club here and have these 4 people tell me that if we did a satellite club there, should we do a different day? We definitely should. Should it be a different day part? Should it be an evening club? Should it be a morning club? Whatever it ends up to be. This is an opportunity for the Rotary Club of Orlando to grow our membership by starting a satellite club down here. Or maybe we start a satellite club down here, different day part and so on. That's what this membership thing will do. So now I have shown you the new software, which is growrotary.org, that I want you to play with for the next couple of weeks. Then I also want you to go into DAC, and I want you to identify the footprint of the members that you have and where there's opportunities to grow in those census tracts that we showed you. And then in a couple of weeks, George Stewart and I are going to have a meeting with each of the AGs and their respective club presidents and club leadership.